Esther Buerki, the author of Living Without Fear and the co-publisher of Inspired Journeys. I help you overcome your fears in life and writing your book. I offer a course called Believe You Can Write, and I support you with one-on-one coaching. Get in touch with me if you want to start writing your book or living without fear, or order my biography and self-help book, Living Without Fear. And please share this podcast with a friend who you know needs to hear this episode. And why not writing a review so that many more people will find this episode? And today I'd like to talk again about patience. If you know me a bit, you know I've been the most impatient person on this planet. And I still see my old self in my elder son because I handed a lot of this impatience over to him. I hope I can teach him what I've learned in the past years before I leave this world, because this is so crucial. Living a life with this much impatience is so stressful and so frustrating. As I was so impatient with myself, I was impatient with the others, with my loved ones, with my colleagues at work, with everyone who crossed my path during my day. Does this sound familiar to you? But the most difficult situations arrived when I felt impatient with myself, because then the whole litany of negative thoughts and beliefs started spinning. You're not good enough, Esther. You're not doing enough, Esther. You're not successful because you were never successful, Esther, and you will never be. Don't dream, Esther. Don't fool yourself. You're a loser. You're a failure, and you will always be. And all these coaches who tell you you can change and you can become successful, you can make it too. These people are all wrong, because you are this failure and you will always be. Are you with me? And maybe on some days I started blaming the coaches I had at the moment. They are not good enough for me. I was wrong believing them that they could help me. And it went on and on. All negative beliefs. And at the end, I thought, I'm not meant to live in this world. I need to leave. I need to find a way to set an end to my life. And I landed there with this sad thought, because it all started with my pattern of being impatient with myself. What helped me was to see the small things and the small steps, to ask myself, what have I already achieved? But let's develop a new pattern and start at the beginning. If you feel impatient with someone else, the first step is to ask yourself, why is this so important for me? The second step is step back and look at the situation from far away and from a time in the future, and ask yourself, how will I feel about this situation in a week or in a month? Is it still so important? And as a third step, I suggest taking a deep breath, feeling into my body and filling it with patience and love. How does this feel? If you're impatient with yourself, and if you realize that you're constantly telling yourself negative things, stop what you're doing right now and take a piece of paper, or if you haven't access at a piece of paper, write it down in your notes in your smartphone. I keep everything in there because in 99% of my time, my smartphone is easy and quick to reach. Now you start writing down all the small wins you already have with yourself in your personal life, in your professional life, in your daily life. Don't overthink it at all. Start with the smallest thing. It can be the smile I got while talking to my 80-year-old mom. It can be a heartfelt thank you from my 2 boys for the lovely lunchbox I had prepared for them. It can be the attention I paid to a colleague in our orchestra during the break when she shares her painful story with her ex. Or it could be another beautiful feedback for my book, Living Without Fear. All these things are tiny things, but they matter because they tell me that I matter. And so do you. Your small things in your daily life count. Each and every one. It counts because everything successful in life does happen in small steps. Every flower, before it blossoms, takes many small steps to finally open the bud and bloom in full flower. There isn't any plant on this planet which tells itself, "Oh, I'm so impatient. I cannot wait to blossom. I skip all the tiny steps and I will open the bud now." It won't work, and no plant would even try it. Only we humans, we tend to be so impatient during so many times, and it doesn't help us. The contrary is the case. Since I learned to be more patient, I also enjoy the small steps. For example, I enjoy preparing this podcast. I enjoy writing the email which goes with it, and I enjoy creating the artwork. In the past, all seemed to take so much energy. I wanted to have it done as fast as possible. I just saw the end result. And now, once the podcast is done, it feels light, and I'm surprised how effortless it went. You can try it out with whatever task you have to do today or during these days. You will feel lighter and more joyful, and you will discover how your impatience diminishes. And if you haven't read my book, Living Without Fear, order it today on Amazon. Thank you, dear listener, for being here in this moment and taking some time to learn from me. Appreciate yourself for this. And if nobody has told you yet today, you're awesome, you're loved, and you matter. And thank you so much for sharing this podcast with someone who needs to hear this episode. Have an amazing day and talk to you next week.